Right, we're here in Landfall Press where they do good work.
Yeah.
And where Terry and Vernon and a lot of people work.
Yeah.
And we are also, and this is about the only art hideout in town. I have not found anything on the net that, and I watch everything that comes by, that is more than one step from a major work of art. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Some of them are one step from really bad works for it, like Bernard Hay, you know?
Yes.
And they just can't take that step out into oblivion anymore, and I don't know why.
Do you think it has to do with fear of risk?
What? What are they going to do to you if you make a bad work of art? It's like, are they going to
celebrate you?
They're going to send you off to Australia to a penal colony? You know, if that were the case, Australia would be about 5 times as big as it is. And so, no, I don't know. I have no, just everything looks like everything else. And all the criticism sounds like everything else.
Yes.
Now, why, if you're an individual writer, would you want your criticism to sound like everybody else's? But I think about this stuff. I can't, you know, I look at what's there, and I see a lot of clever things in biennials and things like that, and boxes that are green on the inside and silver on the outside, you know, things like that, and gigantic pencils made out of American flags and things like that. Now, it all seems pretty corny. I just don't see how you could put your name on it. You know, I mean, I could put my name on it as easy as they could, and I think that there's there's a tendency not to want to divorce yourself from your art. Because I always told my students, you make orphans. You know, they're supposed to go, like little orphan Annie's, supposed to go out in the world and find their own daddy war books. And you don't have anything to do with it. And, but these people seem so perversely close to that. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
To their art. And I used to say there are 2 kinds of artists. If you go to see their art, the good kind of artist stands next to you and looks at it again in your presence. The other kind of artist goes up and stands beside their art to protect it. And
or explain it to you.
And or explain it to you. Now, I prefer Ed Ruscha, who just stands there beside you. And
Gee, Dave, I hadn't thought about it that way.
That's right. Ed will say things like that. He says Yoda things.
He does say Yoda things. Yeah.
And but I get the feeling that Ed's, you know, he's not as tired of this as I am, but because he makes art. But you begin to feel like it's so thin. You know, It's like, if I put my pen to the paper, it will go through to the floor. You know, it's like there's nothing there, and that's hard because I mean I'm in the business of liking things. I was thinking the other day that about this Rodgers and Hammerstein song from Showboat called "Falling in Love with Love." Well, that's what I do. I'm not only obsessed with things, but I'm obsessed with being obsessed with things, you know. And that's why I don't write much negative criticism. I have to kind of be obsessed with it first or get $5 a word. And at which point everything looks good. And
but people think critics are in the business of disliking art.
Why would you do that?
Well, that's exactly.
All I'm looking for is magic, you know. I'm looking for something wonderful. I'm going to change the world, you know. And I have no idea why people think critics dislike art. I love art. You know, I could go down a list of my major art experiences in my life, you know. And none of them have to do with bad art. I don't know. I think if I were an artist, I would be very happy to be living in this moment because power is laying on the floor. We could reach down right there and pick up some power. You understand what I'm saying? It's all there to be taken. There's nobody with any sort of synoptic sense of what's going on.